Before I open the floor for questions, I want to make a point that is related to this matter, but not exactly on the matter. I want to make an important point regarding our governance system in Ghana and the integrity of the democratic systems that we have set in place to govern ourselves. And I speak about this matter very passionately. The penchant by the NDC for undermining the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana is very dangerous for our democracy. Parliaments are the unique institutions that distinguish democratic governments from non-democratic governments. Under military dictatorships and so on, the judiciary is there, there's always cabinet, there's executive. But dictatorships don't have parliaments. So parliaments are a very unique feature of democratic societies and must be guarded jealously and respected. Now, this is the second time that a document goes to the House of the Representatives of the People, and then NDC elements in that parliament rush these documents to the media, to social media, to public spaces, in order to either undercut, undermine, or destroy the credibility of the debate and discussions that will be going on in that parliament. How can you be a member of parliament and be leaking documents that are meant for discussion in that parliament to the press in order to, if you want, generate public discourse and, if you want, excite opprobrium for the government of the day? When you do that, you are undermining the very house from which you derive your legitimacy as a participant in our democratic process. Because what is your legitimacy? Your legitimacy is that you are an NDC member of parliament. So if there is no parliament or the credibility of parliament is destroyed, your legitimacy as a human being in our democratic process is also gone. And therefore, I am just using this opportunity to call on the NDC to be decorous, to begin to respect the sanctity of parliament. That when government takes a document to parliament, because that document, from what the minister has been saying, has been in this ministry for more than 8 months. That's number one. And we have operators in this ministry. They didn't leak it to the press. After that, it went to cabinet and stayed around the cabinet secretariat for another maybe 4 months or whatever. And the day that we take it to parliament, in order for the representatives of the people to discuss it, NDC elements in the parliament then take the document, photocopy it, and throw it into the public space when even the debate in parliament has not started. I don't think that is the way to run a democracy. When we were in opposition, we were very responsible to know that you don't undermine parliament in this way. So I am just calling on the leadership of parliament that this attitude and this habit has to stop. And it is perhaps the reason why when they were in power, agreements like this, they never took it to parliament. But we are not about to do that. We want to continue as a government to respect the sanctity of parliament, and we will continue to send agreements that border on the interests of our citizens to parliament. But you, the media, must also help us in calling the NDC out on this behavior, so that when they leak documents that are yet to be discussed in parliament to you in order to generate a public discussion ahead of the parliament, you tell them that this is not correct. You have the opportunity and the forum in parliament. Please make your point in parliament. After all, the media is always in parliament. You are all of these media houses. You have your representation in parliament. And therefore, you cover parliamentary producing. So they could have made all these arguments they are making on radio inside the parliament. But why do they want to have debates? Then if they want us to dissolve parliament and do a free-for-all type of democracy where we are all sitting on radio and trading, if you want, illogicalities, then let's do that. But that is not the arrangement that we have. Please, I am just making this point. Please help us to all run our country and run it in a very decent manner. That when the NDC people take parliamentary documents and bring to you, you tell them that, please, once it is a document that the government has brought to Parliament, let's have the parliamentary debate first, and then we can come back into the public space and continue with that debate. But right now, all these debates have been had in the public space already. Meanwhile, we are now purporting to be sitting in Parliament in a Defense and Interior Committee. What again are we talking about in the Interior and Defense Committee? As far as I'm concerned, they've undermined the credibility of whatever discussions are going to take in Parliament and prejudiced and polluted and poisoned the atmosphere. And I just thought that today I should call the NDC out on this attitude. It is not good for our democracy. Thank you very much.